guys? This is the wraparound live Raptors reaction uh, live stream podcast call-in show. We're just watching the last 29 seconds or so of the Raptors Miami Heat basketball game here and played in Toronto. A lot to take away from this one. The Raptors lose by a score of 121-110. So first loss in a while. First loss since we started recording here. It's kind of a weird feeling. It's not great. Lots to take away from this game. We went to overtime. Things didn't go the way that we wanted it to, and I'll give a little bit of a breakdown there. A little bit of admin. Our last video was taken off because of copyright issues. Apparently we had some English Premier League footage that shouldn't have been on there, so now we're going to spam copyright on freaking everything. So you see the box score right now, ESPN. That's where we're taking it from. So don't take us down, and if you do, okay, we'll have to adapt. Anyway, Miami Heat beat the Toronto Raptors 121-110 at the ACC. Tonight was a big Norm game. Tonight was not a Lowry game, even though he came back for the first time since whenever he went out with his broken thumb. Pascal kind of shied away from the moment. Jimmy Butler didn't. So those are your big highlights. And now if we go back to the first quarter, a couple things I saw as we went through the game. First thing I noticed was Eric Spoelstra's hair. Miami Heat head coach, he's losing it right down the middle. But I'm sure he knows LeBron's people, and I'm sure they both know a place to get plugs. He's got enough money, I'm sure. Maybe in a couple of years we'll see that. We'll see it coming back. A lot of Pascal's shots were hitting front rim. They at least started that way. I wasn't really tracking how they were and weren't falling towards the end of the game, but it always seems like he's a bit short, and I don't know why he doesn't compensate even just a little bit. I don't know if it's, stepping closer. Well, I guess he can. He's at the arc, but putting a bit more arc on top of it, I don't know. Something to give it a bit more lift, because it seems like it kind of just dies short, and maybe that's something they practice. Mark hit his first 2-point field goal in what seems like 2 weeks. Like this crazy difficult spin fall away on, I don't even know who was guarding him. That was crazy. Good for him. Who the hell is Duncan Robinson? So looking at the box score over here, we've got he was a plus 11, 22 points in 27 minutes. And I actually didn't think he was a white guy. He's a white guy. And he's basically Matt Thomas, if Matt Thomas was playing, except for the Heat. And that's kind of a bigger thing. Like, the Heat are almost like that Spider-Man meme of the Toronto Raptors. Like, okay, so we got one second-tier MVP candidate, all-star, all-NBA guy. So Jimmy and Pascal. I'm not saying they're on the same level, but okay. Let's take them as your leading guy. And then they have all these guys that you've never heard of. And they play pretty smart. They're coached well. They hustle. They're freaking physical. I don't know. It seems like it's almost like a reflection of what we do. I'd like to think we do it better, and we tactically did not do it as well as I'm used to seeing it. And I think that's for several reasons, and one of them being that Kyle's back, and I think it just throws off the whole rotation. So I think in general this was just a bad game for Kyle to come back, which is weird to say because we had such good chemistry and flow. And I think against a Miami team, you have to be tactical, you have to be sharp. Unless you have talent and you can overpower them, but you need to be sharp in this game. And we weren't sharp. And it showed. Actually, that was my next point, so there you go. Miami D looked hella good. The Raptors broadcast keyed in on it. They held the Raptors under 40% for a long time. I don't know if they ended up with 40%. Does it say here on the box score overall? What did we shoot? Yeah, under 40% and under 27% from three. Not great. We didn't shoot great. And that's okay. The 3-point shots, I'm whatever on. Yeah, we didn't get our feet set, but I'm not using the 3-point shot missing as an excuse for this game. I'm just not. They didn't even shoot all that well from three themselves. They shot, 30, okay, well, better than league average, 38%. But I mean, 45% shooting, they didn't light it up. And it's way more complicated than us just missing shots. And Nick, I think he'll have some things to show in the video room, like because I wouldn't chalk this one up to just something as like as a poor shooting night. Wasn't that? Yeah, that Miami team just feels like our team. No names producing rookies. Hero and Nunn are like their is like our Terrence Davis and Chris Boucher, like random guys producing. You're like, who the hell is doing this to us? And you look up and you're like, oh my god, I guess I should pay attention to them. Like Duncan Robinson, like who the hell is this guy? Lowry and bench units. I don't know. I was hoping that was going to be a thing. He shot really, really terribly. Let me see. He was 0 of 11, 0 of 11 from 3. That is not a typo. And he was almost the team worst, except Siakam and Van Vliet were actually worse from the field. Lowry was minus 14, though. Terrence Davis, plus 12 and 15 minutes. And then the best starter was OG, and he didn't really get run later on in the game either, for whatever reason. Because he still hit a hit. Did he hit his threes? No, he missed his threes. Yeah, not great shooting from anybody. Kind of a bummer. I saw a lot of reaching. Like, I didn't see us shuffle or rotate as crisply as, like when we did it to Utah, when we did it to, like, some of those other guys, Philly. Like, we rotated like nobody's business. We had hands in the passing lanes. We shuffled our feet. We knew exactly what our coverages were. And that's why I'm not too worried about this game. Like, I think you get a couple practices in with Kyle and Serge, right? You trust Rondé a little bit more. But, like, that energy, like, you kind of wanted it tonight, right? His energy, even Chris Boucher would have altered some shots. I don't know. I know the starters are back, but, there was a reason we like the bench. And I think it's more than they're just, like an up-and-comers, no names finding success. Like, we like that, and that inflates how we value them. But I don't know. I liked what the bench saw. Everybody knew exactly what their roles were. It was Davis, Boucher, and Hollis Jefferson, and they all knew their roles, and they hustled their asses off. And it's hard, right? It's hard because we lose, and it's easy to get really, really emotional and like bench Kyle, Serge, whatever. You can play 10 minutes or 12 minutes. It's early. Like, we reintegrated our team against a really sharp Miami team. Like, credit to Miami. Like, they have a great record. They're not bad at all. Problem was, I don't know. I just don't think we got enough practices in, and Kyle needs to find his stroke. Like, yeah, if he makes, I don't know, however many shots, like, let's say makes 3 out of 11 for even like a passable 3-point rate, is it a different ballgame? Yeah, we might win an OT. We had a chance to win an OT. We'll get to that, though. So this is all in the second quarter that I saw. Lowry was at least passing the ball well, as he always does, right? That doesn't take as much getting on the bicycle and trying to learn how to do everything all over again. Bam Adebayo is good. Like, that is a good freaking player. If Masai wants to work his magic, that dude is on my radar. Jonathan Isaac, he's on everybody's radar, but he's gonna find an all defensive team in the near future, if not DPOY. And then Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks. I also really like him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that those organizations value them highly, but those are guys that I don't think get the press, and they should. And if we could snap them up, I'm sure we would do it. Jimmy Butler, when he plays, I remember when he played us when he was on the Bulls. There was a good tweet by William Liu out there. From 2015 to 2018, those Bulls beat us fucking 15 straight times, and he was a big reason why. And the reason is he's a really smart player. Yeah, he can make the plays, he can make the shots, he plays good defense. Credit to all that stuff. What I'm most impressed with was the fact that he makes all the right decisions, at least on offense. He gets doubled, passes it right away. He gets a smaller guy on him, posts him up. He's quick with his decisions. He knows where to go. He knows who to attack. He knows who can't guard him, what kind of fouls he's going to get. OG's a good defender, and he made OG look fucking silly tonight. Okay, not silly, passable. But, OG, clamps people down. OG has a reputation of clamping Harden down on the road in Houston, who's who were playing next, made them kind of look silly. And it was such like a breath of fresh air for all these Raps fans that have been burned by the Bulls over those years. That Kawhi last year was like, you'd throw Kawhi on and be like, you're not moving. And he didn't. And it was awesome. And now we're back to being his bitch. I hate Jimmy Butler. We started off better in the third. Yeah. Awesome. I think we were down. We weren't down by much. But I think, yeah, like the Heat are also really, really well coached. Like what they had, they were cutting off our swing passes. So like, I'm surprised more people don't fish out Mark's tendencies. Like he doesn't shoot, right? And he likes to pass around the rim. He'll shoot if he's like open by 10 feet at the 3-point arc, but he likes to pass around the arc. And I don't even know if it was his ball that was deflected in this instance, but there was one point in the third quarter where I think it was Tyler Hero that he just stuck out his arm and poked the ball away. And I was like, that's just smart coaching. Like it's on their report that we like to swing it around the arc almost incessantly, like almost to a fault. And we saw that tonight. Like nobody wanted to take shots. It was weird. It was like watching the Sixers playoff series. It's like we like drudged up all those demons. I thought it was going to happen. Like Philly was going to come in and kick our ass last week because of the shot. It didn't happen. Like we battled out whatever. They played hard-ish, but not really. And then it turns out Jimmy Butler is the one who took it most personal and comes in here and just kills us. Yeah, I just noticed that our D, like it was just a bit of a fraction off. And yeah, the Toronto broadcasters picked up on that. Like it just, or even they had an assistant coach at the halftime they were interviewing. He's like, yeah, all we got to do is like make one more quick step on our rotations and one more quick step here, and we'll be fine. That's the problem though. It was a fraction off, and that's all that the Heat needed to find windows. Because again, well coached and they make the right reads. Like I don't know, they're smart. They're a smart team. Fourth quarter, we kind of got into it. This is when Norm started to pick up the narrative that we're having a Norm game. He had some nice deflections. He hit threes at an unconscious rate. And then, so on their end, though, it was Justice Winslow that was carving us up. Like this guy, the guy that Boston almost traded 5 or 4 first-round picks for in a draft 5 years ago. The Heat said no, and the guy's never been anything. He's like been a world-class defender, but never made an all-defensive team. I'm sure his defensive box plus minus is whatever. Like they can play him with the 5. He's a fine guy. The guy shoots 19% from 3. I think either this season or in his career. He's been just terrible. And he was hitting threes, and he was getting guys off the dribble and layups and off curls, and it just like he was cooking. I don't know what it was. He was just cooking. Then we get down into their end in the key. Ibaka can't catch a pass on one series. It just seemed like we couldn't get the lead. Like it seemed like it was always stuck around 8. We whittled it down. We actually managed to get it to a point where we could win the game as things were taken down. And I liked our approach. Like, okay, so our 3-point percentage wasn't there. They weren't going in. The fact that we went to the line 31 times, or at least that's how it was in the fourth quarter. I don't know how many times we ended up getting there. Hold on. We went to the line 36 times to their, 21. That's a big difference. So I liked what we tried to do. I like that we tried to kind of like mix it up. Like, oh, if they're not dropping, at least like we'll drive. And we got a decent whistle. Wasn't great. Lowry obviously wasn't happy with it, but he never is. Fine. Good strategy. They went for it. We made it competitive. And I love that out of our team. Norm, again, unconscious. Like I've written that in my notes a bunch of times. Like corner Norm was just alive. They were just throwing. It seemed like his one of them, like his left leg like flew out horizontal, like parallel to the ground. Made it anyway. Just like unconscious. Like the teammates were looking for him. Love to see it. Norm has like these last couple games. Of course, he's gonna reel us back in, right? Like the dude looks like Kobe sometimes. I mean, okay, not even aesthetically close, but like the way like he takes over, the way he drives, like the dude could be Terminator if he just had his mind right. He has like that kind of like Just he has like insane drive skill. Like it's really 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 good, and 3-pointers. And I don't know what his comp is. The dude flies though, and when he's on, he's really really fun to watch. Whatever. So he had one in the corner. Norm did. That they had to review for a while. They thought maybe he stepped out of bounds. That took a long time. That was towards the end of the quarter as well. It was, I think we were tied, and it was like more than the shot clock length. I think it was like 30 seconds left, and Siakam has the ball ISO, friggin' like dribbles, like spin in the lane, looks for contact, no contact, falls down. That was our scoring opportunity to end regulation, and then Jimmy misses a three to end regulation time. So whatever, we go into overtime tied, and then Jimmy fucking melts our faces off. He scores 8 straight points. I think it was a 2 and a foul and a 3, and then he like a leaning 3, which didn't seem real at the time. It looked like one of those like MJ Space Jam things with the elastic arm. Like it didn't look real at all. And then a fast break. I think like he pinched up by the break and intercepted it and ran it back for a dunk or a layup or whatever it was. On his own, Jimmy Butler in like a minute goes on an 8-0 run because of course that's what he does to us. That's what he has done. And frankly, like I think we tried to weigh that cosmic thing back in our balance with a Kawhi shot, and I think we did, and we ruined him for an offseason. Now he's back at it. He's just like, nope, I'm still your father. And he's done that consistently. Like, credit to him. I don't like him. I don't think he played it well in Minnesota, and I think he has a real reputation that he's a problem. Dude's good. He just is. He's just a good player. So yeah, beyond that, beyond Jimmy being our daddy, Norm had a great game. Like, shout out Norm, good for you. Love that you did it. Love that we, I don't know, love that we looked for you. Love that you made the shots. You had deflections. There's big ups, and Lowry was just brick city. Like, good to have him back. I think it threw everything off kilter. And again, like it's easy to overreact to this, and like let's just bench Lowry and Serge, and I'm sure that just comes with the emotion, and they'll be fine, and we'll be fine. But the team that we had before they came back was so much fun to cheer for, such underdogs. I don't know, it changed. Like I'm sure the tactics that if we're running Fred and Lowry out there to starters, like we have no size, it changes our tactics, but it also changes the vibe of the team, I think. They come in as vets, they take their mantle, but it almost snatches away from the guys that have just been like hustling. Like Boucher, RHJ, like I didn't see Rondé. I think I saw him like go for a couple offensive rebounds, like 22 minutes. Didn't really see much. Norm, to his credit, like saw enough minutes, which is awesome, but like RHJ, 17 minutes. Ibaka saw 22. And then Terrence Davis saw 15, and then Boucher didn't play. So 9 men. I mean, you're doing what Nick is doing, what any coach would do. You ride with your top guys, but I don't know. It seemed like they could have used another practice, but that's too political. Like you can't sit if they say they're ready. You're not gonna sit Serge and Kyle and say sorry. No. You'll come back for Houston. Which coming to that point, at least we had our guys get some time together before Houston because, I think we needed it. I think there'll be plenty of tape to watch. I don't know. Is Lowry shaky on defense individually? He hasn't been in the game, but like, is Fred better? I don't know. There's a lot of propaganda out there that people like Fred better than Lowry, and like we need to calm down. Like I know Fred is going to get paid, and we've all seen those articles that someone's going to give him a $30 million max extension this summer when his contract's up and he's a free agent. And Serge I don't think has the length that Boucher does. I don't know. It's weird. It's an emotional thing, right? Like you don't like to lose, and you look at what was working, and you blame what didn't work tonight and what was different, and you point to those two guys. I don't know. I think it's just an emotional thing. They're still a good team. Houston, I don't know. This of the three upcoming games between Houston, Philly, and then Miami tonight, I thought this would be the easiest win. I think relatively speaking. Houston, you never know with their 3-point variance or how we're going to hold Harden on Thursday. It's going to be a problem. But I thought for sure Philly was going to be the toughest one. I thought we'd just get waxed there because we held Embiid, we embarrassed them for 0 points, and we're just going to get waxed in Philly, in Philly. So I hope we can still take 2 of 3. It's going to be tough to beat Houston Rockets. They're a good team, and it's going to be I think it'll be really, really hard to go into Philly and win. Could this be 0-3? You hope not. You hope not.